Hello parents and students. This is Unit 3, Lesson 6 Classwork Review. We're going to start off with kind of what we finished off in Lesson 5, using a place value chart for multiplication. So we have 20 times 40. So we're going to take this and say, okay, well, 20 and 40 can both be broken up into 2 times 10. 2 times 10. And then we have 4 times 10. Now that's just like saying 2 tens times 4 times 10. Okay? Or you could then say 20 times 4 times 10, or 20 times 4. So we're going to look at our place value chart, our place value chart over on the right. Okay? And we're going to be putting some discs in here. Okay, so let's start off with 2 tens. Okay, so we have 2 tens. 20 is 2 tens. So we're going to put 2 dots in our place value chart to represent 20. Okay, 2 tens. Now we're going to do that 4 times. So we need 4 more. I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use orange. So 1, 2, 3, and so we have a total of 4 of them. So we have 4 groups. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now students know when it says by times 10, that means we need to move our numbers and our disk to the left 1 place. So we're going to move all 8 disks, all 4 groups over to the left. So now we're going to move them all. I'm making them all green. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 discs or dots in our hundreds. Okay, so we have 8 hundreds. Okay, which will give us 800. So that's kind of what we finished up with on Unit 3, Lesson 5, was using place value discs and doing groups. Now your student needs to make sure they know how to break these numbers up into different possibilities. Now, we could have done it the other way. We could have done 4 tens and done 2 groups of it. So in reality, instead of our groups being like this, we could have done 4 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need 2 groups of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'd have 2 groups, first group, second group. We would need both groups to move over to my hundreds, and we would still end up with 8 discs in my hundreds place to give me 800. Okay, now for number 2, we're going to start, and this is where it kind of gets a little bit confusing for some of the parents. Okay, we're going to do something called an area model. Now, our area models are going to get a little more sophisticated, but for this one, we have 20 times 40. So we're going to just draw ourselves a box as our area model to start off with. Now, 20 times 40. Now, what we can do is say, okay, 20 times 40. Oops, excuse me, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to break each one of these into a 10 and a 10. Okay, so really we have 2 tens. 20 equals 2 times 10. So we have 2 tens. Now we're going to do that same idea with the 40. So we're going to do a 10 here. We're going to do a 10 here. To a 10 here. Now in theory, each one of these boxes are going to be the exact same size, but as you can see with mine, they're slightly off, but close enough. Each box, though, do a different color. Each one of these boxes is 10 by 10. Okay. Now, a 10 by 10 box has an area that equals 100. Okay. So think about that. Each one of those boxes is an area of 100. So how many boxes do we have? If you count up, we have 8 boxes. So we have 8 100s. So our answer is 8 hundredths or 800. Okay, so that's our first kind of area model that we're going to be looking at. Okay, so area, once again, think about the inside of each one of these little squares. Each one has an area, okay, has an area of 100. Has a 10 by 10 square, okay? So imagine if we pull one of these out, this is what this would look like. Has a side and height and width of 10. 10 times 10 gives you 100. Okay, so that's what the students are going to be working on and working with. Okay, so hopefully this can bring a little clarification to you in what we're going to be working with. We're going to see another type of area model start to come up in the future with what we're going to be working with and how we're going to be doing it when it comes to 2-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers and 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers, and how we're going to break up the numbers in a place value chart a little bit differently, which I think will make a little more sense. But hopefully this can clarify some things that your student was learning in class today and help you understand what we're doing and not going with the standard method of multiplication. We're trying to stay away from that as much as possible. So I know that was the way that you and I were all taught, was the standard method, but we're trying to stay away to give the students a little more understanding of where numbers are coming from and how they're getting those numbers and why they're forming the way they are. They'll be doing more with standard method, the standard method of multiplication in 5th grade and 6th grade. So please, as we're working on our classwork and on their homework, please refrain from using the standard method when doing their work. You may use it yourself to check their work if you would like to, but please try to refrain from showing them and teaching them that, as we are trying to help them understand where numbers are coming from and why things are happening the way they are. Thanks, and hopefully this clarifies everything, and have a wonderful rest of your day.